everybody, my name is Lydia and welcome back to my channel. It is now October, which means that it is officially spooky season, and as you can tell from my decorations, I really like Halloween and I'm really excited. I still don't know what I'm gonna be for Halloween, but I'll figure that out eventually. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but we're living in the middle of a global pandemic right now. I know, shocking, right? But that means that there's been a lot of time for reading, a lot of free time, and so I thought that it would be kind of fun to tell you guys or talk to you guys about all the books that I've read throughout quarantine and whatnot. So without further ado, let's just get right into the video. So if you've seen my most previous video, then you'll know the first two books that I talk about. But the first book that I read is Shatter Me by Tara Mafi. I'm really sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But basically it's about this girl who, if she touches people, she kills them. And well, because of that, she's basically kind of locked in a cell until it's called the reestablishment. It's the society or the government at the time, but the reestablishment comes in and is like, we could use you as a weapon. And so now she's like, oh crap, like what am I gonna do? Do I want to be used as a weapon, or am I like, that's just basically the book. I personally, it's an unpopular opinion, I know. I personally did not like this book that much. I found the characters a little bit cliche, and I felt like the author used a lot of metaphors and similes that were kind of a stretch. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but the metaphors that she used were very obscure and very just they didn't make sense, basically. And I found that quite annoying, and that kind of turned me off from reading the other books. And I don't think I'm planning on reading the other books, but we'll see where I am in the future. In the end, I gave the book a 2 out of 5 stars. So the next book that I read is called Three Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. Again, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but it's basically about this island, this magical kind of island where every generation there's a set of triplets born, and they're called the Three Queens. And basically each queen has a different magical kind of power that they have. There's Mirabella, who's an elemental, so she can control fire, air, water, that type of stuff. There's Catherine, who is a poisoner, and she can digest some of the most deadliest poisons on the face of the earth and not even feel sick. And then there's Arsinoe, who is a naturalist, which basically means that it says that she has the ability to bloom the reddest rose and control the fiercest of lions. But basically what happens is that these sisters are competing to become queen, and it's not like oh, the firstborn gets to be queen. No, they have to fight to the death to be queen. So that's basically that. I really like this book. Like I said in my previous video, it more got me out of my reading slump. I'm trying to remember what I liked about it the most. I guess the characters were really unique. I loved the world building. I thought the author did a really good job at that. I don't know, I felt like she did a really good job at piquing my interest and like grabbing me in, and I felt myself being like, oh, like I want to keep reading, you know, stuff like that. But in the end, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, which is pretty good for me because I usually give at most 4 out of 5. So if it's 5 out of 5, then you know it's a pretty good book. I also read during quarantine the second book, but I won't go into that because I don't want to spoil anything. I rated that one a 4 out of 5. So the book that I read after that one is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I really like this book. This book ripped my heart out. It was heart-wrenching. I don't normally cry, and I didn't cry while reading this book. I'm not a book crier, so I just get really sad. Like afterwards I'll just like sit there and I'll just be like sad. So and this hurt my heart so much reading this book. I highly recommend this book. Like I highly recommend it. This book is basically about, it's kind of like the prequel to Alice in Wonderland, but it centers around the Queen of Hearts, and it tells the story of how she became who she is. And I don't really know how to do a synopsis of this, so I'm just gonna read the description off of Goodreads. So it says, long before she was the terror of Wonderland, the infamous Queen of Hearts, she was just the girl who wanted to fall in love. Catherine may be one of the most desired girls in Wonderland, and a favorite of the unmarried King of Hearts. But her interests lie elsewhere. A talented baker, all she wants is to open a shop with her best friend. But according to her mother, such a goal is unthinkable for the young woman who could be the next queen. Then Kath meets Jess, the handsome and mysterious court joker. For the first time, she feels the pull of true attraction. At the risk of offending the king and infuriating her parents, she and the Jess enter an intense secret courtship. Kath is determined to define her own destiny and fall in love on her terms. But in a land thriving with magic, madness, and monsters, fate has other plans. And like I said, I loved this book. I actually rated it 4 out of 5 stars, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'd probably rate it 5 out of 5. And it would be really cool to see a movie made out of this. I think that would be really nice. So the next book that I read, actually I read the entire series over quarantine, but it's only a duology, so it's nothing crazy, but I read the entire thing. And that is Even the Darkest Stars by Heather Fawcett. This is another book series that I really, really like. I got it in a book box from Beacon Book Box back, actually, I know I did a video on it back in 2018. Back in 2018. I know I did a video on it, and I finally, it's been sitting on my bookshelf for that long, and I was sitting there and I was like, I can't go to the library because the library is closed due to COVID, and I'll just read it. I'll see what it is. I'd been avoiding it for months, years. And eventually I read it and I was surprised. I really liked it. I liked it a lot. And I know I talked about world building with Three Dark Crowns, but the world building in that is, oh my gosh, I love it. And the main character, I think she's spunky. I love it so much. It's probably up there in one of my favorites. Highly recommend them. You're gonna probably hear that a lot. I liked a lot of the books I read. Here's the description of this. So it says, Kamsin has always dreamed of becoming one of the Emperor's royal explorers, the elite climbers tasked with mapping the wintry mountainous empire and spying on its enemies. She knows she could be the best in the world if only someone would give her a chance. But everything changes when the mysterious and eccentric River Shara, the greatest explorer ever known, arrives in her village and demands to hire Kamsin, not her older sister Lucia, as everyone had expected, for his next expedition. This is Kamsin's chance to prove herself, even though River's mission to retrieve a rare talisman for the Emperor means climbing Raksha, the tallest and deadliest mountain in the Aryas. Then Lucia sets off on her own mission to Raksha with a rival explorer, and Kamsin must decide what's most important to her, protecting her sister from the countless perils of the climb or beating her to the summit. The challenges of climbing Raksha are unlike anything Kamsin expected or prepared for, with avalanches, ice chasms, I feel like an idiot for not knowing that word, but ghosts and other dangers at every turn. And as dark secrets are revealed, Kamsin must unravel the truth about their mission and her companions while surviving the deadliest climb she has ever faced. As you can tell, there's a lot of action, and I love action. It keeps me on my toes. So I rated this one a 5 out of 5, and I'm not going to go back on it because I really like this book. Like I said, I also read the second book, and I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. So the next book that I read after that was City of Glass by Cassandra Clare, and I know that that book series has an immense following, and they're really passionate about this book series, and for good reason. I really like it. I stopped reading it back when I was doing booktube, when I first started and whatnot. I read the first and second book and I really enjoyed it, and then I guess I just got caught up in other things. I started reading other books, and then I didn't read the third book, and you know, I was sitting and I was just like, I'll just read the third book, I'll just read it. Never mind that I don't remember literally anything that happened in the book series prior, but I'll just read it again. And it was okay. There was twists that I really liked, and their characters I really liked, and the story was good. It definitely wasn't the best book that I've read, but it definitely wasn't the worst at the same time. I don't think I'd read it again. And because the book, I'm not a big fan of really long chapters because my attention span is non-existent, so the shorter the chapters the better, because then I feel like I'm progressing more. But this book had really long chapters, so it kind of felt, as I was reading it, like it was just like going on and on and on, and it's a long book. There's a lot of pages in this book, but eventually I finished it, and I was just I kind of left the book feeling, that wasn't my favorite book in the series, but that's not going to stop me from reading the next one, which I don't know what path I'm going to take in the series next. I'm thinking of reading the not the one that I can't remember off the top of my head, not the one that continues the series per se, but the split off series. And then yeah, if you know the series, then you might understand what I'm talking about. If not, then oh well, I'm blabbering like an idiot. But I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. So the final book that I read over quarantine was Notes from My Captivity by Kathy Parks. This book has been sitting in my TBR for I don't even know how long. Probably since even before I started my booktube channel. It's been, I don't even know, but I was sitting and I was like, you know, I haven't read this book. I feel like that happens a lot, where I'm just sitting there and I'm like, you know, I haven't read this book and I probably should, so I'm gonna do it. That seems to be a reoccurring theme over the course of this video, but yes, that's what happened. I was sitting there and I was like, I should probably read this book. So I did. I really enjoyed it. Again, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but I did. Here's the description. It says, Adrienne Cahill cares about 3 things: getting into great college, becoming a revered journalist like her idol, Sidney DeClay, and making her late father proud of her. So when Adrienne is offered the chance to write an article that will get her into her dream school and debunk her foolish stepfather's belief that a legendary family of hermits is living in the Siberian wilderness, there is no question that she's going to fly across the world. But the Russian terrain is even less forgiving than skeptical Adrienne, and when disaster strikes, none of their extensive preparations seem to matter. Now Adrienne's being held captive by the family she was convinced didn't exist, and her best hope for escape is to act like she cares about them, even if it means wooing their youngest son. Now, I've always really liked the style of books where it's like, you know, it's like something happens and they have to survive in the wilderness. I don't know, I've always kind of liked that, and I haven't really found a lot of books that are like that. Maybe I'm just not looking, if I'm being honest. But I can say one thing is that the main character, she bothered the crap out of me when I first started reading it. Like, I could not stand her. There was a point where I got probably about a quarter of the way through and I was like, I don't think I can finish this book. She bothers the crap out of me. Like every single time I read and I'd stop, I'd find myself annoyed, being like, this main character, I hate her. And I think she's a spoiled brat and whatnot. And eventually, what I really like about the book is that her character arc was amazing, And eventually towards the end, I found myself like really, I loved her. Like I really liked the character, and I found myself like, you know, like relating to her in a way, you know? And I really liked it. I thought that the author did a really nice job, and I really liked the writing. And I flew through this book. There's a pretty decent amount of pages, and I cannot believe I flew through this book. I think it took me about a week and a half to read it, which for me is a very short amount of time. So yeah, well, I think that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my quarantine reads and whatnot. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that YouTube stuff. Follow my Instagram and Goodreads. They're linked in the description below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.